Okay, so let me be real. I'm really bored. And I've been.
What's going on, you guys? So here at YBM's first ever 3v3 case tournament, and we're here with my boys Dre. You already know, my boy YUGIOH, and we are here with
Matthew Rivera.
Solid.
The one and only Zach Stone, baby. Y'all know who it is.
First and foremost, what was your guys' team name?
Team Duelist Academy at Home.
Home, baby.
What decks did you guys play?
Tri-Brigade. Dragon, that's what I played. And you played Tri-Brigade.
Tri-Brigade.
Alright, before we get into you guys' deck profiles, you guys give me a shout out.
Go first, Matt.
Shout out Pele, Long Beach locals. Shout out Zach, that's kind of it, really.
Alright, shout out to Duelist Academy. Shout out to Big City Cards. They usually give me all my cards. And shout out to Anthony from SSA. He gave me all the cards this time.
I love Anthony. He's cool. Yeah. All right, first and foremost, I got to shout out everybody in the Discord. Y'all know who you are. Biggest Discord, best Discord around. Shout outs to people at Pele. They're the shop that I help out a lot. Shout outs to boy Alex, boy Will. And just making short and sweet. Shout out to my girlfriend. Love you so much.
We will start with Tri-Brigade.
Yeah, so I played Tri-Brigade, Zoo Tri-Brigade. So there's a total of 11 Tri-Brigade main deck monsters.
Seem a little confused.
Yeah, these are all like the same, and then this is your extender when you're pushing through. It's pretty cookie cutter. I mean, they're all like I said, these all get to each other, and you're just trying to get your engine rolling. Then you play obviously the zoos. These guys are just really good, like everyone knows like Fairjet and Thoroughblade drawing, so you're just getting closer to your IO, right? And that's part of the Thoroughblade / Tri-Brigade combo. And then for hand traps, I played 2 Phantasme, 3 Ash, and then 3 Veiler. So with Phantasme, you want to play like hand traps that you can draw into. So like that being like Veiler and cards that like help break boards because you are going second. Most more often than not. And that's why I played some other main deck cards that kind of work with Phantasme. For the main deck spells, these are the 3 1-ofs. Called by Harpies and Barrage. I mean, this is your extender. You're kind of praying to draw this when you're in the mirror. Then we have 3 Tankies, 3 Droplets, and then your 3 Desires. So I was.
Are those ultimate?
Yeah, they're ultimate. Yeah. So like, I was playing 3 Imperm at one point, but Esala told me that if your Phantasma is drawing into your Imperm, it's kind of bad. So I cut down on 1 Imperm. I was like, I'll just max out on the droplets. So everything worked out. And then for the traps, I play a total of 6. Play 2 Imperm and the Imperial Order, and then 3 Revolt. You want to max out on this. I mean, there's sometimes when you just draw it and you're back in the game, right? Now for the extra decks, for the Tri-Brigade monsters, 1 Rugal, 1 Bearbum, 2 Fairjets, and 2 Omens. This is kind of standard. A lot of people like to cut this one for like a 3rd Omen, but you're mostly just killing them by the time you're going there, and these 2 kind of like go hand in hand to like break boards, so you really need that 2nd Fairjet. And then for the rest, we have Access Code, the Doom Eagle, the Double Dragon Lord, Almirage, and Appaloosa. So yeah, your standard end board is like with him, Revolt, and like some other gunk that you drew into. This is your Link 1, right? And these are your bounce. You kind of like go into him when you're playing around Contact C sometimes. This is something that you kind of just step along the way into. Like, might as well return something back into the deck, and then this is Game Shot. And then the reason why you play the Zeus, I mean, yeah, for Zeus, right? He's a house, right? Like using it twice, it's kind of broken. For the side deck, for the spells, we got 3 Twin and 2 Cosmic. Twin is just better than Cosmic, and I like this going, first sometimes against like control matchups. It really trades well with like continue spells, obviously. Let's see. We got the traps. So 3 judgment and the 1 reboot. This kind of pairs with the Cosmic and the Twins. And 3rd judgment, I mean, it's kind of like this deck's like slot for anti-spell, I guess. I just like this more. It's more versatile and it hits more cards. And it's a lot better than the mirror. Yeah. Because if you just have anti-spell and you have like 2 other sets, they'll just twin it, right? And there goes your revolt. There goes the big surprise that you're like trying to. And then for the hand traps, 3 Droll, 3 Bell. I like Droll over Cycle Reader because it hits more. Like a lot of people are on Dragon now, and I think it's just a lot better. Like for my sake. And with Bell, I'm not too keen on it. I actually don't really like it that much. It's more like for other decks like Prank Kids, and I guess it's good in the mirror, but by the time they get to the revolt, like it's getting negated by Apo. So I guess that's one thing you can like look into changing. That's my deck. Yeah.
That was the main question I wanted to ask you as
Yeah.
well. Was there anything you want to change about it?
I guess it might be the bells, but I just don't know what else to decide. Like that's kind of it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next, Dragonlink. So before we get why Dragon?
Okay, so let me be real. I'm really bored. And I've been playing a different deck every week. Like last week I played True Draco. But like I built this deck last night and it ended up being pretty solid. I mean, like if I play the rest of the format, it'd probably be between this and Drytron because I like combo decks, but I also just like I generally like Dragon. Dragon's done a lot for me. Dragon's probably made me like Dragon cards have probably made me the most money in Yu-Gi-Oh than anything else. So I should probably stick to it because they're loyal to me. So that's it. All right, 3 Tracer, 2 Synchron, 1 Recharger, 2 Router, 3 Noctivision. I've always been a guy for 3 Noctivision, even before. Safers, these guys, and then 1 and 1, and then to go with the 1 Chamber. You're not usually searching this in any way, except like maybe Seal, and then you're just using these to cycle. And if you do happen to draw these, then you can just actually dump this with Ravine to put this in the grave and cycle it back for another, and you can set that up that way. You never really needed to draw this card because normal summoning it now is not as useful as it was before. And then for hand traps, because now this is like more of a mid-range deck than a combo deck, you play a shit ton. You play these, and then the last slot, 3 Rivalry.
That's a big one to talk about.
So this card is just insane versus Pranks and Tri-Brigade, like going first and second, and apparently against Striker, because I didn't have any cards after getting nibbed for my life, but I set this card, and he tried to kill me with access code, and then when he Celined, I just activated this, and for the next 10 turns, he couldn't out it, so I won. But this card, I mean, I definitely didn't come up with this. This is something that's been played for a while. I didn't come up with any of this, by the way. I just copied the list and then trying it out for the weekend. So I take no credit for anything. It was for this 3. I was gonna choose between either 2 more, like 1 Absol extra, 1 Synchron extra, and like another Tiding, or like the Black Metals and Red Eyes Darkness Metal, or this. And I'm pretty glad I picked this in because. This actually destroyed like a lot of Tri-Brigade decks just going second and setting it. Like I beat Apo, Revolt, Imperm, what's it called? Anti-Spell, just because I set this card. And it was good. It was enough. And that was in top 4. But yeah. Spells, Chaos Space, Quick Launch, and then 1 of each field spell. You don't really play World Guard Dragon anymore just because you can't really make use of the moving effect because you're not summoning LP. So it's just like a Monster Reborn. You don't really need that. Especially since like now you're just trying to win with these anyway. But yeah, it's like really, really standard. Like again, I didn't put that much thought into it. I just kind of felt out what I wanted those last 3 spots to be because I just wanted to play something.
So if you're not bored in the future, would you play this again with Rivalry in the name?
I went 9-0, so probably. Like, I would definitely main Rivalry. Rivalry was the standout. It was the best card in the deck, probably. That wasn't part of my engine.
That's 9-0 after Swiss, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Like, well, no. So 9-0, 6 rounds of Swiss, 3 rounds of
Ah, there you go. Okay.
Striker Dragon, 2 Seals, this and this, these are all standard, 1 Pisty, Quad Boral, this I'll talk about in a bit, IP Unicorn, this is like what replaces having the extra bodies now, because you're not really able to do LP plays, so you need other things to end on, and this makes your Chaos Ruler a lot better, and then access code as well, because you need a way to push into game after turn 1, because you don't have Striker Dragon into Recharger, into everything else anymore. So it's a lot harder to actually kill turn 2, but that's what these cards are for now. And then the 3 Synchros. This is the absolute best one. This is basically the only reason you play this deck. You make this way more than you make this, Every time you can make a level 8 synchro, you go for this one. There's almost no scenario where you'd rather make this instead. This just generates way too much advantage and puts you too far ahead, especially with all the hand traps that you play being able to essentially be added off this. And with the ones I side, it's also similar. Fiber is like the main spot that you can move around. It could be this, it could be triple burst. I decided to still play this because it made going into Boral Sword easier, and that did happen a couple times. So I'd say it's fine. Like, this is the one card you can move around depending on what you want. And I didn't really need triple burst because every time I needed that down arrow, I just made a quad Boral. But it could come up. Side deck, I really wanted to respect Drytron, simply because I knew a lot of the people that were coming here were friends of mine that I built their Drytron decks. So it worked out, and I played 4 Drytron and I lost a roll against all of them, and I drew these cards all the time. I'm nice. I got Lancias, Twins, and Tactics. So Lancia mainly because I wanted something against Virtual World. I wanted something to be able to go first against Tri-Brigade as well, because I want to side out the Ashes, because that card's like really bad against Tri-Brigade, and this is a light that you can add off Chaos Ruler. So it's functional, and also like good against Phantom Knight, which is also like picking up popularity. Twin is just the best generic back removal at the moment, because you want to hit the cards before the main phase. You want them to be trainable so you can play around anti-spell, just things like that. And Tactics, this was just like the last spot. I didn't know what I wanted it to be, but this was just the most versatile card I could think of in like a deck like this, where it plays a lot of hand traps, and it just gets a lot of value because you're not as punished for getting drolled. You can do a lot with it, and it's just really flexible. So I thought it was just fine. And it also helps beat Dragoon, which like not necessarily a struggle for this deck, but when they go like cold, activate Red Eyes Fusion, and then set back row, this is one of the few things that can actually like, get you there. So yeah, no complaints.
Last but not least.
Alrighty, so I played Tri-Brigade. I stuck pretty much cookie cutter as possible. I didn't really try to play anything spicy. I didn't play the Ancient Warrior cards, so I played Zoo Tri-Brigade. I'm gonna start with the hand traps. They're like more of the most important cards of the deck, because like the Tri-Brigade cards are like inherently good. Like they cheat link summoning, but like you need to back them up with cards. Like you need a lot of traps. You need back row. Like your deck is a trap deck. And for the monsters, standard 3 Nerval, 3 Kit, 3 Fractal, 2 Karass. I can't say I would want to play 3, but it doesn't sound like the worst idea. Maxing out on your monsters has always been like a favorite thing to do for mine. But I don't know if I would play 3. It's hard to say. Just a simple Zoo engine of Double Thoroughblade and Rat Pierre. You don't want to play multiple. You don't want to play 3, and you don't want to play like a Ram. Having 3 names is fine. And like just 2 of these is like essentially better, since they just can draw you more cards, draw you more traps, and like these are essentially like really good in the deck. Zeus is like an amazing card. So that's it for the monsters. Spells, 3 Tanky, 3 Desires. This is something I did different, I guess. Shoutouts to Blake Thunderberg for giving me the idea. I played 3 Forbidden Chalice. I love Chalice. It's been one of my favorite cards since I've been playing the game. And yeah, it did really well. You just want more effect negation. What I've kind of learned in this format is like effect negation is kind of good. And Tri-Brigade, like if you just stop any of their effects, they need to have Revolt, and even then this answers Shurag when they try to Revolt you on your turn. And it also answers Appaloosa, which I like better than Droplet. I didn't like the idea of having to like send other cards to activate it, when really sometimes you just need to stop one card anyway. So Chalice really did good for me. I wouldn't switch it. The last 2 spells are just Barrage and Call By. I think every Zoo Tri-Brigade plays these. The traps, fairly standard. Triple Revolt, Triple Imperm, again, goes with effect negation. Same thing with the 2 strikes. This card was really good, honestly. I really realized why you should play Strike and Tri-Brigade. It's just as good as Gamma, but you can have monsters on your field and play Strike. And then I never drew this card, but you have to play it because it's limited to 1.
The win button.
It is another one.
The win button.
Just an auto win.
Please get banned.
Please. Extra deck, I don't really want to explain too much. It's fairly standard. Access code, 2 Shurags. I played 2 Farragets. I think that's standard in Zoo Tri-Brigade now, and only 1 Verbloom. You try to just properly link summon this. That way you can always revolt it back and try to loop Revolt and Nerval to just have a continuous play of Revolts. The last Tri-Brigades is the Rugal, and that was it for the Tri-Brigade links. All the other ones, which are pretty standard. All Mirage, when you just draw Kit and Nerval. Ancient Warriors and Doomingle. I don't think I summoned this one at all, but this card definitely like one of the best link monsters in the game, let alone in the deck. Appaloosa, pretty much the heart and soul of the deck. Everyone just tries to summon this straight up. But post side, I've had a lot of success. Actually, just summoning like not necessarily Shurag, but ending on like either Rugal or like Revolt into Rugal when Shurag's already on the field. Because a lot of people are starting like spell and trap removal twins to force out the Revolt. And when you chain it and you still have the Shurag effect on their turn after they twin or try to remove your Revolt, it's a problem for them. I've found a lot of success post side doing that than making Appaloosa. And then just the Exceed monsters, 3 Zoos, and a Zeus. I basically wouldn't play any less or any more. I probably wouldn't play Hammer Kong over Tiger just because like reattaching is sometimes important. And then for the side deck, fairly standard. I didn't go too far off from my friend Matt. I did play Nibiru's in the side. I'm like more of a higher impact hand trap kind of guy, so same thing with the Drolls. And I did go with Phantasmes. I didn't feel comfortable siding Gammas, and I also didn't want to cut another card for Driver. So I just stuck with 3 Phantasme, which is okay. I probably can see myself not playing this in the future just because it kind of like underperformed for me. I did only play 2 Twin and Red Reboot. Frankly, I feel like I'm playing the trap deck. As much as I know that you need spell and trap removal and you need to be able just to kill people, I don't want to go like overboard on it. Like I feel like I'm gonna play more into their cards, but my back row is gonna like always like be able to carry me forward, and I don't need to stop theirs just because my back row does like the better job in my opinion. And then 3 Solemn Judgment, you just like having this card going first. I don't think you play any less personally, and frankly that's about it. So
For sure. All right, you guys. Well, congratulations on winning. Awesome. You guys got a whole case. Just love to see everything fighting the format. We know Tri-Brigade's great. It's awesome to see Dragonlink, man. Bored or not, it's still awesome to see.
Exactly.
Congratulations, you guys, on the win, and thank you for the deck profiles.
all right, guys, thank you.
揺れている